It's Monday, better known as International Chest Day. You've slammed your pre-workout and the beta-alanine-induced face tingling is in full effect. You bust through the gym doors and head over to your favorite bench. You load up the bar and start your warm-up, and then you start to notice something. You say to yourself, what's that? It's that stupid shoulder pain that pops up every now and then just to ruin your progress when you start getting in a roll with your training. So what are you going to do? Are you going to ignore it and just keep on pushing through the workout, hoping for the best? That's probably not the best idea. Or are you going to give up benching and just go curl in the squat rack and chain? You're definitely not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to do this warm-up instead. Look, there's nothing wrong at all with just grabbing the bar and doing some really light warm-up sets, progressively loading them over time. And honestly, is what I do for my warm-ups 99% of the time. But if you're dealing with shoulder pain or you just want a little bit more for your bench warm-up, then I've got something for you. At its core, a solid warm-up should just prepare you for the training that you're about to do. For benching, this means getting the T-spine and the shoulders moving, the muscles ready to work, and actually grooving the pressing motion itself. The main mobility demands for benching are thoracic spine extension, especially if you have a relatively decent arch when you bench, and shoulder extension. So we're going to want to tackle those first. For thoracic spine extension, just grab a foam roller and sit near a wall with your feet up on the wall and the foam roller placed just below your shoulder blades. Place your hands behind your head and then arch your back over the foam roller, holding that stretch position for about 5 to 10 seconds. If you want to progress this a little bit, then just grab a lighter kettlebell or a plate and hold it behind your head, and then let that pull you a little bit further into the stretch. For shoulder extension, you're just going to grab a relatively thick band and loop it up relatively high on a squat rack. Loop your hand through it and then turn away from the anchor point so that the band is actually pulling your arm and your hand behind your back. And then step away from the rack until there's a decent amount of tension, giving you a good stretch through your chest, shoulders, and biceps. To progress this stretch, just simply lunge down, and that's going to pull your hand and shoulder up a little bit higher and make the stretch on those muscles quite a bit more aggressive. Hold this for 5 or 10 seconds before standing back up. Do 2 to 3 sets of each of these mobilizations before moving on to the next category of drills. After you've mobilized your shoulder and your thoracic spine, you're going to actually want to get the shoulder muscles themselves working. I like doing a superset of an elbow-supported external rotation with either a cable rear delt crossover or a band pull apart. The external rotation will help you get the rotator cuff nice and warmed up, and the rear delt crossover or the band pull apart will help you attack the upper back fairly nicely. For the external rotation, simply grab an adjustable bench and put it near a cable stack. Anchor the pulley of the cable stack relatively low, and then incline the bench so that it's about shoulder height. This will allow you to load up the movement heavier than if you're just supporting the elbow by itself. From here, just rotate your hand up towards the ceiling, holding for a second or two at the top position. Setting the anchor point of the cable lower is going to make the beginning part of the range of motion quite a bit harder than the top part, and setting the anchor point higher is going to make the end range of motion a little bit harder than the beginning of the range of motion. Neither is really better than the other. I would just recommend trying both and going with whatever feels best and most effective for you. For the cable crossovers, set the cables so that they're at or just slightly above shoulder height. Grab each cable with the opposite hand, step back from the cable stack, and pull your hands back and out to the sides, squeezing through your shoulder blades. You can use the same exact cues for the band pull aparts, but if you have a habit of feeling them only in your upper traps or your neck, then simply take an adjustable bench, lay it down fairly flat, and then do a chest supported band pull apart instead. Do about 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for each of these movements, and then we'll move on to actually grooving the pressing pattern itself. To groove the pressing pattern for bench, we have 2 great options. The first is a half kneeling single arm landmine press, and the second is simply a tempo bench press. I recommend using a 202 or a 303 tempo for both of these variations and doing about 2 sets of 6 to 10 reps. After all this work, your thoracic spine and your shoulders are going to be nice and warmed up, and you're going to be ready to bench some big weights and have a lot less pain, or just hopefully no pain in general. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can keep crushing your training without getting benched by your injuries. That was a terrible pun, I know, just roll with it.